let's take the Rams, for example. They're clearly struggling on the offensive line. They're on center 3, right guard 3, left guard 2, and now they lose Noteboom, who's left tackle 1. You could argue left tackle 2. They never fully replaced Whitworth. In a bye week, which the Rams have, can you even fix those problems? How do you even go about it?
I really, the problem is where the replacement's coming from. Are some of the guys that are out, are you going to get them back pretty soon? Can you piecemeal it and hang on? My last year with the Chargers, what happened. We lost 3 or 4 starters. We lost the left tackle. And Phillip was a guy that needed to be protected. He wasn't going to take off and scramble and move. And there's teams now that remind me of that situation we were in. And obviously the Rams were one of them, and you saw it early in the season, and then you saw it as the season went on. And Stafford's a guy that needs to be protected. He's not going to sustain
and up the middle. It's
no
one
question.
thing if the left tackle gets beat and he can step up and throw the ball. But if the pressure is coming up the middle, that's even harder for an immobile quarterback, right? We know that about Brady. We know that about others. And we've seen like Darrell Henderson this last week almost look like a personal protector lining up in front of Stafford.
No question. I went to the Thursday night Washington-Chicago game, and I know a lot about Washington, obviously with my son there and Coach Rivera, but I'm not giving away any secrets. They're going through 3 centers. They're on their 4th. They've gone through 3 right guards, 2 right tackles. First of all, the continuity in the offensive line, we know how important it is. And then the ability to perform. They played Tennessee, and that defensive tackle, 98, you guys will give me his name. I know you're all over it. They moved him around and got the great matchup. And then I went to the Charger game on Monday night, and when you see it in person, and they've had so many injuries in the offensive line, and Herbert running for his life throughout a lot of the game, and he's unbelievable. Another guy might have been sacked 6 or 7 times. He avoids those sacks, but you don't get any continuity. You don't get any rhythm on offense. The quarterback needs a running game to help him getting those situations that are prime situations. And, if your offensive line can't protect, you're struggling.
No question. The Rams were without Rashawn Slater, left tackle, Corey Linsley, Pro Bowler, food poisoning, and then all of a sudden the whole line fell apart. And as we mentioned before, 57 passes for like 3-some yards average. I mean,
that's pretty amazing when you have a guy like Herbert, and their normal yards, target yards is low anyway, but then when you have protection problems, and they're not going to get a lot of yards per attempt. And Herbert, his strength is being able to throw that ball up the field. I think another injury that we all know, Keenan Allen is his guy, and
right.
I think they would be a lot different with Keenan Allen, but the combination of the protection problems and then Keenan being out, it's a tough combination.
Yeah, especially when Surtain locks down Mike Williams, so you don't even have that option, there. So the way I interpreted Coach Turner, we go back a long ways, and he's always a nice guy, very words things the right way. So the answer to that question that I asked, I believe, is a bye week isn't going to help you fix much unless you can use the bye to get somebody back. The only one that might come back is the center, coming off a knee scope, and he's been slow. The right guard broke his leg, is out for the season, and they're down to right guard 3. They're on center 3. They could get center 1 back, and that could help. The left guard is on IR with concussion, so will definitely be out. And Noteboom tore his Achilles and is definitely out. So the only chance for help with the Rams is at the center position. Otherwise, unless they're picking up someone who's on the couch or from the practice squad, there's not a lot of help coming other than the center, Allen, the center, coming back from the knee scope, and that's not a guarantee.
Yeah, and everyone says, well, you got to buy, you got some time, you can put some new schemes in, you can chip that, you can have a tight end help. There's things that all offensive coaches know you can do, but those things dry up pretty fast, and it doesn't take long for defenses to figure out what you're doing too, and they adjust on the move. And you can do some things to piecemeal and help it for a few plays or maybe for half a game, but it comes down to personnel.